Hi, welcome to the STG podcast, where we speak to business owners, entrepreneurs, and people in fitness and wellness. Today, we have Ryan Smith, part owner of Violent Bicycles, and we're really going to be getting into his journey into business, for which it's not normal at all. He's also going to be dropping some gems and sharing some of his knowledge that he's learned along the way. So hopefully, today, we all learned something.
Astronomy shot the riff.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I had no idea that you were running your own business. I always thought that you were just managing it. I had no idea that you
Sure.
right.
Sure.
Yeah. No, well, you kind of kept it low key.
I did.
Yeah.
I kept it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
For the reason being that the bike shop, which I had worked at forever and ever, was my grandparents' business. So when I left there, it was like everybody looked at me like, "Are you crazy?
Right.
What are you doing? Like,
Okay.
you're gonna go work for the competition? Like, you're gonna be going against family."
Mm-hmm.
And that was just like a big,
No, absolutely.
big giant X mark on my character. And I was
Right.
like, just wait. I've got a plan. I've got an idea. I know what's going on there. I kind of want to be on board.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a potential to do something better for myself.
Right.
Which sounds terribly selfish of me. But
No,
ask any businessman, who do you love the most? Me.
Right.
So I ended up the competition,
Right.
which is, keep in mind, a block down the road.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like almost across the street.
You could throw a rock and hit the front door of the competition, like that far away.
Yeah.
I didn't move far.
So what drew you to then? I mean, of course you were working there. You wanted something better. You were managing, or how did that develop?
I was one of the managers at the bike shop for
Okay.
a few years. We had a manager that was the sole manager
Mm-hmm.
for the bike shop for a couple years, and him and his wife ended up moving out to Hawaii, which is, good for them. Shout out to Jesse and Esther. Love you guys.
Right.
They moved out there and left a shop with a bunch of guys that, I wasn't ready to manage a shop. I was 18, 19, something in that range. I wasn't ready to take on a bunch of responsibilities.
Right.
I was, just this kid fresh out of high school.
Right.
With the only knowledge that I had was stuff I had picked up just
Hanging
being
around.
there.
Yeah.
But I had no business sense, and I knew that. So when he left, they asked, do you want to be the manager? And I'm like, no, I don't want that responsibility.
Right.
That guy gets yelled at for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I don't want that pressure on my back. So they approached the other guy that was there longer than me. Like, do you want to do it? And he had the same answer. Like, oh, I don't want that. I'm like, okay. So we pretty much divvied up the manager responsibilities between me and him.
Right. Makes it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you give two people the same title, no matter what, at the end of the day, there's going to be headbutting.
Yeah. There's
going to be headbutting. And that's what led to the demise of my time being there. It was, it became a struggle, a power struggle almost. Right. It's me versus him is what it felt like.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, it just became that constant bickering, and I was fed up. I got tired of it. Yeah. And coming to my grandmother, which I went to multiple times, and I was just, when I was ready, and I say ready as I could be at 22, 23 at that point. And I'm like, listen, just give it to either one of us. Like, just make up your freaking mind by now. Just pick him or pick me. Like, do you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this goes to show, like, the character that my grandmother had. She's like, I can't just take you and make you the sole manager of the shop and give you the pay raise and just say, fuck him, essentially.
Right.
And just throw him out and he was a great employee for years and years and years. And he probably still is.
Mm-hmm.
I hope. But she's like, I can't just fire him because you guys disagree. That's not how you conduct business. You can't do that. And I'm like, me at 23, fuck that guy. I don't like him. So I was hard-headed. Yeah. I was a pain in the ass. And eventually one day I'm over it. I'm done. I'm leaving. Bye. Yeah. I'm out. And what that essentially did for me was it pulled me out of my comfort zone. I took this grasp on the knowledge of how the bike business worked. And I went to work for the previous owner, Dave. And Dave had worked at the bike shop years and years ago. I was probably, 9-10 years old when he had started working there, just as a hire-on, just an extra set of hands.
Right.
And I remembered him from back then. So when I left the bike shop, I was unemployed for maybe 30 minutes. Shit you not, 30 minutes. I sent him a message on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I know you're looking for somebody right now. Which is another point I left out. I saw his Facebook ad, and I was like, hey, time to jump ship.
Right.
So I sent him a message like, hey, you still looking for somebody? I'm kind of looking for a new gig. He instantly texted me back. Yeah. What are you doing right now?
Yeah. Well, everybody knew you worked there, so you had a reputation.
And me and him, I had known him since he worked at my, grandparents' shop years prior.
Right.
We always got along fantastically.
Right.
So I text him immediately. What are you doing right now? I was like, well, I'm home. Where's home? Like 2 blocks away from the shop. He's like, can you come over right now? I'll be there in 3 minutes. Ran over there. And Dave, I met him at the front gates and just elated to see me. Oh my God, great, awesome! Here, come on into the spare room. Let's have a chat.
Dave Lattimore, right?
No, Dave Harris, who is another guy, Dane, that worked at my grandparents' shop. So I had known both of them for years and years and years. Sat down. It was just the quickest conversation. She's like, hey, how you doing? Great. So how much do you want to make?
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I was making this over here. Great. I'm going to give you an extra $1 an hour. When can you start? Tomorrow. Okay, great. And that's how we went on from there.
Yeah.
So Dane, who was the manager then, is one of my business partners now.
Okay.
And the dynamic that we have between the two of us is absolutely stellar. Like, I could not be happier to have Dane as a business partner.
Right.
And he's got far more knowledge than I do as far as running bike shops, because he's been pretty much a manager at every shop on the island, and has been doing this for years. He ran his own mobile bike repair shop, like cyclotherapy, like a few years back. He's been in the industry, and he's a few years older than me. I'm 28. He's 50, 51, something like that.
A couple of years.
So he's got like one or 2 years, right? He's got a few years on me. And yeah, it's been the most terrifying transition of leaving a family business and being absolutely outed by my family, because they were just completely opposed to the idea. Like, you're gonna go work for the competition against your, like, whoa, that rocks some boats. Mm-hmm. And to this day, it's still a little rocky.
Yeah, but you had to do what you needed to do for you,
right? And not to sound like a completely selfish asshole, like, but yeah, no, I did what was gonna be best for me. Like, sure, I'd love to, look out for my grandparents' shop and take care of that forever, but there's stipulations that I won't dive into because they're family matters that, there was just, I had hit that glass ceiling. There was no potential to grow from the position that I was at. Because that's everybody's first thought. Like, well, I mean, if you would have just been patient, you would have taken it over. That's not true. That wasn't the case at all. Which, once I finally realized that, was the downfall of my time there. I had acquired that knowledge and went, okay, now I don't care.
Yeah.
Now,
Once you hit that point, it's over. Like with any place that you work and you realize, okay, well, this is what's it for me. Like, how else can I? You've plateaued, so
sure.
it's like, okay, well,
sure.
What am I going to do now? Like, am I going to stay like in this spot forever? For which then it feels like you're going in there every day to do the same
I'm just
mundane
running
thing.
in circles.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
And
I like that you did that for yourself, because I did the same thing. And some people aren't brave enough to take that leap and say, okay, well, I'm going to start over.
Absolutely.
Start over. Like,
start over. Start from ground zero.
Yeah.
And
because now you're back at an employee, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm not like
managing. Sorry.
Yeah, I've got no title. I'm just a grunt that's got a good bit of experience, but I'm still a grunt. I'm still, the infantryman. I am front lines. I am the bitch running around doing everything. If somebody said, "Hey, go do this," hey, I had to go do that.
Right.
And that was another shock.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had worked at my grandparents' shop for so long that I had gotten comfortable.
Yeah.
And that comfortability is nice, but it's extremely dangerous. Yeah. That comfort level will just put you in a zone where you can become completely complacent with the shit job that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I learned. I learned that what I was doing there was a shit job. Yeah. I sucked at my job then.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it.
Yeah, so
I had no idea.
Yeah, you upped your level when you went over here, because then it became, because now it's no longer family. It's not like, okay, I can do this, that, and the third, and nobody's going to say anything. Yeah.
I'll get away with it.
Now
I fucked this up. I'll get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any more of that.
Or you can cover your ass and fix it.
Yeah, exactly. I can go behind like, let's brush that under the table. Yeah. Nobody solved that mistake. Yeah, no, that was all completely out the window. And I loved that. At the time, I was terrified. Yeah. I was terrified. Working for Dave, and I had known his history from when he had worked at the bike shop, and then going to work for him there, me and him would sit there some nights and I'd run across the street to Don's and grab a 6-pack or a 12-pack, and we would sit there for a few hours, and I would just pick his brain.
Right.
Like, I always thought you were just some dude that blew into town and decided to be a bike mechanic and, just some riffraff that came into town. No, not at all. This guy is, like, at the time he was 53. Mm-hmm. He had done things in his life, like, back in the 80s. Yeah. He grew up in Chicago. This is a dude that, like, grew up on the sales floor, like buying and trading stocks.
Okay.
And like you want to know Dave's life? Watch The Wolf of Wall Street. That's what he did.
Okay.
That's what he did. That was his life. He grew up and was working in the industry at that period of time where people just went in there, and if you were smart and you were fast, you made money. And you didn't just make a few dollars. You made a lot of dollars.
Yeah.
You made good money, and you did well for yourself. Yeah. Did he have a fun time doing it in the 80s? Absolutely.
I can imagine.
He's told me stories that I would never put on record.
Yeah.
But and once I started having those conversations with him and really getting a deeper knowledge of what an amazing life this guy had, it made me just want to know more. And like, how can I at 26 at the time, like, how can I do what you did? How can I do something to be where you are today? Because that's where I want to be. I want to be, not fully, but right. I want to be in that position.
Yeah, you want part of that as success.
Yeah, absolutely. And we may have different views on some things, but like I wanted that, and I craved it. So I would just sit there and pick his brain and pick his brain and pick his brain and pick his fucking brain over and over. And the things I learned from that man, I can't thank him enough, honestly.
So, you want to know what? And I think it's crazy that you're even telling me this story, because me and you have never got into a conversation like this ever. As far as our friendship.
Ever.
Because me and you, we're both shit talkers. We talk shit.
Absolutely.
It's always fun conversations that never get to this point. And you telling me about you basically having a mentorship with this guy, just picking his brain, and it makes me look at you in a whole different light, because I'm the same way. And I kind of feel like when people listen back to my podcast, not knowing me, like if you're not someone who knows me, you know, like you'd think that I'm on some intellectual like tip, and I am at an extent, but for the most part I like to have fun. I like to talk shit. It's mostly just bullshitting, but I'm very serious about the things that I want. So this is like very like
a driven side that most people who know me have never seen. Like I'm 99.9% positive my parents would have thought like what's your son Ryan gonna do? I'm like, Ryan? Are you sure you don't want to talk about our other kids? Because they're way more interesting. They're like, you know, doing great in school, and they're going leaps and bounds. Like, Ryan, like, the only thing he's going to amount to is, like, I don't know, how many felonies can you get in one lifetime? Which I have 0. Yeah. You know, like they would have totally just thought, like, I'm just going to be a shithead for the rest of my life. And that's just my personality. I like to talk shit. Yeah. And, you know, bust my friends' balls all the time. And, you know, I like to have a good time. But when it comes down to, like, hunkering down and being, like, being hungry and being angry, I was so good at that. I was like, yeah, no. Business world, you got to be a ruthless, nasty person sometimes. Yeah. Sure, I could do that. But that's not completely my MO. Mm-hmm. And you've known me for years, since third grade. Yeah. I'm always the class clown. I'm the joker. I'm always the one to make light of any situation and just kind of play anything off.
The whole time I was texting you, bro, I'm like,
I had you in stitches. I had you in stitches.
I'm like, is he gonna show up? You know, you're like, oh, I got this mixtape that I'm selling at the corner store. Like, can I promote it? I'm like,
this guy's full of shit.
Yeah, he's not gonna show up.
Yeah, it's just my sarcastic sense of humor. Yeah. I love to just have fun, but it's like, if it comes down to, you know, if we gotta actually hunker down and get shit done, let's get shit done. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's absolutely do it.
Yeah, let's get it done. And at the same time, have fun while we're doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, I could say a dick joke and be serious at the same time. You know? There's no harm in having fun. Right. You know, learn when to be serious, which took me a little bit of time, because I always thought I was going to be a professional comedian. I thought I was going to do stand-up, and then I realized I hated talking in front of people. Yeah. Like, oh, wait, no, I have to go up there? Mm-mm.
Yeah. I'm
going to tell dick jokes in the back.
I had the same ambition. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a comedian, and then I'm like, I got to, like, look at this crowd. Like, nah, I get butterflies just having 5 people look at me sometimes.
I'm pissing my pants just thinking about it. You know? Like, no, I can't do that. Yeah. Like, I you know, me and you can joke around and shit like that, like, in casual conversation, but if you put a spotlight on me and told me to be funny, that's when I realized,
I hate that.
I can't be funny. Yeah. If you put me on the spot, I can't be funny. If you were like, tell me a joke right now, I'd be like, I can't do it. Right. I can't do it.
Yeah, don't do that to me.
But I'll think of the funniest shit, like, in a random conversation. Yeah. Like,
nah, people will try to, what they'll do is they're like, oh, you know, they want me for the laughter. So then it's like, oh, you know, make me laugh. Like, you on command? Like, I'm not a Tickle Me Elmo or a drawstring.
I'm not gonna sit for a treat. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, nah. I got you. I'm on the same exact page.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and comedy is still one of the things that I admire most. Like, the people that can do that, God fucking bless you. Yeah. Because you're a saint in my eyes, and you are way better of a human than I could ever be. Yeah. But maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll step in front of a stage. Yeah. And I'll step out of my comfort zone, like I just preached 10 minutes ago.
Doing the they do a Thursday night comedy show. Yeah. I thought about stepping up on stage, you know, approaching my fear. That's something I always talk about, is just doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm absolutely scared of a couple of things that I'm like heights and things like that. And I'm like, let me just stand on the edge. If I stand on the edge, I'm one step closer. Right. You know, I did that at the Grand Canyon, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
I'm terrified of heights. You wouldn't have got me at.
Yeah. Well,
but
the thing
20 feet to the edge.
No, it's a complete trip, bro. It's a complete trip looking at a height like that, and all you see is a river, and the river is so far, like it's like that's not the ground. I thought I was standing on the ground, because when you go see the Grand Canyon, it's like, what the like, there's that much ground underneath us. It's insane. But so when you got in with your business partner,
I got lucky.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right up, I got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I got super lucky. So Dave, the previous owner, and just to give like a little bit of background of why he would be so pushy, just about every male in his family, except for like one, I think, had died at the age of 55 from heart complications. So he's a very intense guy, which is one thing I loved and hated about him all the time. Like, I loved his intensity, and at the same time, it would drive you crazy, because sometimes somebody that intense, it's hard to get through to them. Mm-hmm. And then in hindsight, you look back and you're like, okay, yeah, no, I get it. You know, I was, maybe I was a little hot-headed in the situation. Yeah. Sure, I'm like happy to admit that. But he had this deep-rooted feeling that he would hit the age of 55, and within a few months he'd be dead.
Yeah.
So he wanted to sell out. Cycling was always one of his passions. He's always followed it, always loved it, always wanted to own his own bike shop, and it was nothing that he had ever done. But he had gotten the opportunity, found out Aaron, the previous owner before him, was selling. He's like, well, I get to own a bike shop, and I get to own it in a town that I really like, because he loved living in Key West. He worked for, I forget, like either like Danger or Fury or Sebago or, one of the sailing companies. He worked for them just for the sheer fact of learning how to drive a boat. Yeah. Which I don't know how well he is at that to this day. But he was like, okay, this is an opportunity to own a business that I love in a place that I love. Why wouldn't I jump all over it? So he hopped on it. Yeah. And he made changes, and he did things the way that he wanted to do, and it worked great for him. It worked great. It was, good payout. He was happy, but he still wasn't happy with the time that he thinks or thought that he has left. Right. So he accomplished what he wanted to do. He's like, I want to turn this, shitty little Rasta shack into a more high-end bike shop. Right. And he did it. And he absolutely did it. He accomplished that. And he smashed it. Because to this day, I've only worked on $20,000 road bikes because of him. Yeah. Because of what he sold. Yeah, he upped that level. He took this, no AC, no t-shirt wearing, grimy, used parts selling business, and he turned it into something higher. Yeah. He reached that upper tier, and he did that. I will absolutely give him that credit. He did that. And that 2 years, that year and a half, whatever, before we took over, that's where I gained so much knowledge. I had worked in the bicycle industry for, 13 to 15 years, something in that range. Yeah. I forget. It's been so damn long.
Yeah, no, you've been in it for a while.
I'd been in it for so long, but I've learned so
20 years if you really...
Yeah, right? It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting to think about, because I had been doing something for so long and still didn't even know half of what I know now. Right. And I reached that because of working for him. Yeah. And I absolutely love that. And I still love that fucking guy. I love him and I admire him and I think he's a great guy. I don't think I would have half the knowledge without him. And his stubborn pain in the ass. Yeah. Was he a pain in the ass? Absolutely. Why? for reasons.
Yeah.
You don't have to understand that because you know why? You're the infantryman. You're the grunt. You don't have to understand why the general is making these calls.
Yeah.
You just do what he tells you to do.
Right.
And it worked out. And it worked out for the better. And I can't thank him enough.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, that's dope. That's it. You want to know what? My stepdad was a lot like that. Everything was do as I say, and you know, he joked and he played a little bit.
A little bit.
He was very serious. Like
he quit school because he hated recess. I don't play.
Oh, he was so serious. Like he hated school, but he was so smart that he didn't need to go because he read and read and read and read. Like every day was a coffee in the newspaper, so he knew.
Yep.
I'd sit there and talk about something with him, and he's like already up on game, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. So working for him in the t-shirt shop, he like just drilled me. Like, this is how things need to be done. You can mess up 3 shirts. That's what our cap is. Yeah. I'm gonna show you. You print the shirt. You mess this one up. That's fine. You mess this one up. That's fine. This third one, you better get it right. Mm-hmm. And he made sure that I understood those lessons, you know. And I think we need people who are stern in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the Israeli army. So
so he's got stern down to a science.
Yeah, it's a whole nother game.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother game. So everything was very precise. He's a very time management person. He wakes up at 6:00 and he's doing these things, and I'm trying to get myself to that level, but I want to live my life loosely, you know. So you know, you know,
I think it's just basic human instinct to fight authority.
Right.
You know, you have this innate desire to do what you want to do, and fuck you to whoever wants to tell you different.
Yeah.
And believe me, I was the king of the rebellious stage. Ask my mother. She will tell you that I was just awful as a child. And at 16, I'm happy. I'm so happy I got all that awful out of my system.
Yeah, because it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. I could have started being awful at 25.
Right.
Fuck, where would I be now?
Yeah.
That rap sheet of felonies my parents thought I would have had. That's where I would have been. That's where I would have been.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so happy that, you know, and people have always told me, hey, you've got an old soul.
Yeah.
And I do. And it's just, and I didn't realize it till now. It's just because I progressed through all those stages a lot quicker than everybody else. I got that shit way out of my system a long time ago.
Right.
You want to go out and fucking party and just be a delinquent? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you don't do it to excess.
Yeah.
And you get a fucking
moderation.
Control on it. Yeah. You can't be that, you know, fuck the world, I'm going to do whatever I want when you're 45.
Right.
And still have nothing to show for that fucking mentality.
It's got to end at some point.
Yeah. You can say fuck the world, but you got to have something to show for it. So.
You either got to be making money, you got to have some type of success behind you, you better be starting a business.
Sure.
You better be providing for your family. Like, if you're going to go out and party,
Family. That's right there. You got to provide for your family. First, you got to have a family.
Yeah.
You got to be responsible enough to know what a family is and how you can somewhat maintain it.
Yeah.
There's no guidebook for that.
No.
Sure, people written books about having a kid. Like, thanks, Karen, out in San Diego. I'm so glad that having twins, you know, and your multi-million-dollar mansion worked out so well for you. But guess what? I'm fucking broke and making $35,000 a year, and I just got a chick pregnant. What do you do now?
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right.
Uh-oh.
That's real.
I'm in trouble. And now you have to grow up fast.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to grow up fast without any major responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was allowed to kind of be blasé about my points on some things and just kind of, oh, you know, whatever. Things will work out in my favor. And I got that nasty fucking rebellious side out of my fucking system.
Yeah.
I still say fuck like a sailor, obviously.
Yeah.
But I got all that out of the way quickly. But having, like, to think, like, God, if I had to do that and raise a kid at the same time, no wonder people fucking suffer from, you know, all types of stress and anxiety, and because you got thrown into something that you were nowhere near ready to be prepared for.
Right.
You were nowhere near prepared for.
Yeah, that's awesome. Bro. I was not expecting this conversation with you. I love these conversations because I get fueled from it. Like it's like a battery. Like you just recharge my battery pack because now I just want to keep,
Yeah,
I fucking love you, bro.
Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely love you. And what's funny is like some things that I say, I feel like they only resonate with people that are our age.
Yeah.
Right. Like
you want to turn a light on because it's getting a little intimate in here.
Well, I don't know. I thought we were going to start making out.
No. The switch is right behind you.
Okay. Here's one thing you probably wouldn't think to ask, but how I got into my position was having the same mentality throughout my entire life. From the age of 8 years old to 28, where I'm at now, has never changed. When it comes to dealing with people and customers mainly, but people out in public, the way I treat people is be nice to everybody, and treat everybody like they're gonna owe you a massive favor one day. Do you know when that favor is gonna be called upon? Not at all. Right. You have no idea of knowing when somebody's gonna need your help.
Yeah.
But if you treat everybody that way, and you don't start fights and bullshit like squabbles with people, you have no idea who's going to come into your life 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. You might have been a dick to this kid in school, in elementary school, and you might be applying for this job at a law firm. 15 years later, guess what? That kid you were a dick to, his dad owns the law firm that you applied at. Right. He heard your name and went, fuck that guy. He was a dick to me, and he made my life a living hell. And his dad's going to go, yeah, okay, well then fuck that guy.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
So the fact of treating everybody like they'll owe you a favor, I feel like has been the biggest proponent for me throughout my entire life. Because that's me just being a personable person and just getting along with everybody and just being genuinely nice to everybody, no matter what their situation is. Just being that nice, like they're going to owe you a favor, you have no idea how much that had helped me out. That's the reason why I am, or the reason why I'm at where I'm at right now.
Right.
Is because of that attitude. And it was just like, okay, well, we can't afford to lose you. So we're going to make you a business partner. You're gonna have a share in this business, and you've got to put no money down. I didn't have to buy anything. My good attitude and my good nature won me that spot.
That's fucking dope.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Being nice to people is why I'm at where I'm at.
Well, it's the relationship you built too that
Absolutely.
Someone else had already put something forth, and they're like, "Hey, I want you to be a part of this because."
Yep.
Cuz.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's people that I see that are just, they'll fly off the handle. Like, oh, this fucking guy came into my job and I fucking just laid into him because he was being a drunk asshole. It's like, dude, you're a bartender.
Yeah.
Everybody you serve's a drunk asshole.
Yeah.
Be nice to those drunk assholes.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea. That drunk asshole may own a fucking 3-story, 4-story yacht at the end of the harbor, but he just likes to dress like a bum and go be a dickhead to bartenders.
Yeah.
But if you get on his good side, and you have no idea who you're talking to. If you're like a bartender sitting behind the bar, you have no idea if the guy sitting across the bar from you owns fucking half of the island that you live on.
Yeah.
Or, is, the owner of a basketball team or something like that. Mm-hmm. You have no idea. So yeah. He might be a little shitty, and he might be a little tough for most people to get along with. But if you can just fucking bite your tongue, and just learn to kind of joke along with him, he says some nasty shit you don't agree with. Guess what?
It could turn into something better, so much better than what you even expected. Because,
absolutely, yeah. He could just be a complete fucking asshole to everybody on that staff. But if you made a good impression and you just blow it off and learn to joke around with him and get on his good side, that might turn into something beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't know. You have no idea. You have no idea of knowing. So, I'm happy. I've always lived by that mantra of be nice to everybody, like they'll owe you a favor one day.
Yeah,
and it's helped me out tremendously.
Where'd you get that? Was that like
that was just something I don't know.
You
maybe
live with.
It was just like something that I've always loved, like just had inside of me.
Yeah,
because maybe it was just the fact that I was always kind of the black sheep in my family, that I've always wanted people just to be nice to me. Mm-hmm. So I always wanted to treat people the way I wanted to be treated.
Yeah.
I always felt like, a second-class citizen in my family. And now that I think, look back on it, and which I have many a times, I wasn't treated like that. I was just a fucking asshole at the time. It was just me being 16 years old and just thinking my parents were being mean to me, and I felt But I took that feeling of, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, everybody so I'm just going to treat people the way I want to be treated. And that's stuck, and I can't undo it. Yeah. I'm just genuinely nice and happy to everybody I meet.
Yeah. The golden rule is something that always stuck with me through school. It's like, do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know why that sticks. It's something weird to even think about that part stuck with me throughout my whole life. Yeah. Like, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, and I feel like an ultra Karen being like, yeah, I've got live, laugh, love on my walls, and just be happy. Karen. But you have, right? Like, but at the end of the day, it holds a little truth. It's just how you decipher it, right. And how you choose to act upon that live, laugh, love. Yeah. Take what you want of that. Yeah, it might seem like a fucking, Pier 1 sticker that you put on your wall. Yeah, it might be, but for somebody else, it might actually be somebody that wants to live and make other people laugh and show other people love. That was all the things I wanted. I just wanted to, be happy. I just wanted to make people laugh, and I just wanted to fucking love.
That's one of the things that I love about Karen, actually. Mm-hmm. the love, live, laugh, whatever it is. Right. I think it's one of the quotes that I have on my Facebook for the longest time, and it's
basic
just,
white bitch.
Yeah, I know. But it's just something that sticks. It just sticks to me.
It resonates, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's not. Wild. It's not even. I don't even find it cheesy.
I think it's cheesy.
Yeah,
I think it's cheesy, and I think that a sticker could have such a profound effect on my life. Yeah. But that dumb sticker actually does help.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah. If you always convey a message of positivity, it's gonna work out for you.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna see that. And one day somebody's gonna look at you and go, holy shit, this guy is a fucking ray of sunshine with rainbows shooting out of his ass, because he is just nothing but positive and smiles, and he's somebody I want on my team. Yeah. I'm going to choose you. Yeah. And that's what happened. That's what happened to me. Yeah. I was chosen.
That gets me picked for everything except for the basketball team.
Yeah. And I mean, I was chosen by a guy that he did not need to give me that. He did not need to give me that title. But he's like, and he sat me down, and me and him had a private conversation. There's 3 of us. There's 3 business partners to Island Bicycles. And he sat me down privately and was just like, you're the future of this place. You're the one that's going to be here after we die. Yeah. Because these guys are older. Yeah. He's like, these are, this is going to be...
And you take pride in what you do,
your future.
I can tell by the way you talk about it. I mean, because you've been doing this all your life. So this is what you want to do. It's not something that you choose to do because, I need to make money. Like, I know you love bicycles. You love the mechanics of it. Like, when you repaired my bike, I bought my bike on Amazon, and you were like, "Oh, you bought this bike?
Scumbag!"
Yeah, you bought this bike on Amazon, and the bike is too small, but I love that bike. Right. And I remember having you help me with that bike, and the way that you took care of it, you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna make sure that this thing is taken care of." You spun the wheels. You did every last thing that you could do to make sure that.
I think I just found my new title. I'm gonna be Island Bikes Wheel Spinner.
That's dope.
But yeah, I mean, as long as you have passion with what you're doing.
I'm gonna copyright that.
Yeah, wheel spinner. But as long as you have passion in what you're doing, you'll be happy. And like today's society would love for you to think that going out and spending 4 to whatever amount of years in college is going to give you your dream job, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not at all. That is just a disgusting fucking rumor that's going around.
Yeah,
college is not the end all to be all.
It's a debt seller.
It's a debt seller. Correct. Like it's
most of those people go and they work for somebody, and then they never actually fulfill anything that they actually went to school for.
Exactly.
It's like
yeah.
Like,
fuck.
so
Like, oh man, like this didn't work out for me. This didn't work out for me. This didn't work out for me. I guess I'll just, sell real estate,
right.
Which I'm going to catch grief for saying that because my parents sell real estate.
It's all good. It's all good.
But not everybody makes it. Not everybody's going to be like my dad. Like my dad got started in the real estate game in 99 and, worked out of, my grandparents' bike shop.
Yeah.
Upstairs of the bike shop, there's a little office, and that's where he started his business at. And, some people will use that as like a fallback career, but that dude went out and made a fucking name for himself.
Yeah.
And he went out with ferocity. And I hated my stepdad as a kid. I just thought, everything I say, he's opposite of me, and he wants to fight me on everything, and I just thought he was going out just to get me. No, not at all. He wanted me to see the world through his eyes.
Yeah.
And by me being a rebellious punk and just going, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, I actually ended up seeing the world through his eyes and going, oh, wait, no, you can't say fuck you to everybody.
Yeah.
You gotta, wow, no, you actually have to put in some hard work and some hours and just really buckle down. And when people tell you that you can't do this, like they told him, oh, you're another real estate agent. Get in line.
Yeah.
No. Dude became a broker, started his own business, started from him and my mom selling houses and grew from there and made this real estate empire that, fuck, I couldn't tell you in words how proud of I am of him. Like, I love that guy to pieces. Like, he is definitely, when, like,
hustled. Yeah.
When you pencil down your heroes' names, he would be top of that fucking list for me. He is absolutely a hero for me now. And yeah, it might take you a few years to realize that your dad's a fucking dick, but him being a dick actually is really going to help you out. Yeah. It's just got to take you some years. And I hate that some people, it takes them way too many years and sometimes a little too late. Yeah.
Super late. Nah, I see a lot of people that they learn their life lesson way too late. It's been years. They've been in and out of jail, and then it's like, oh, I'm 40, 45, and now I'm going to actually start a career, and I'm going to get my CDL license. And
I'm going to get my shit together now.
Yeah.
Like,
and your kid is 20, and you're...
After 45 years? You know how hard it is to break that cycle of shitty fucking repetition? Yeah. You've been doing the same shit, and it's not been fruitful. Right. And you're still doing the same shit. Sucks. Yeah. That sucks. I was to that point. That's why I left the bike shop. I was to that point where I'm like, I'm just coming in every day to log in hours, and I hate it. It made me hate my job. Yeah. And you know how much I love my job. I love doing what I do. But it made me hate it just because I had felt like I'd gotten to where I could be. If there's no goals for the future, you just become complacent. And honestly, in my story, I just became angry. I just got fucking fed up with it. I was so tired. I was just so tired of doing the same shit over and over and over again with tomorrow being no change. You knew what you were going to do every day for the next year, and that's fucking despicable. Yeah. No. That's despicable. Yeah. It sucks. It sucks. Yeah.
Who wants to live like that, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm like, next year I'm going to do Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
I know people Halloween, that stayed in the same position for 18, 20 years, and it's like, why did you do that to yourself? Like, you could have had more for yourself. And I mean, no knock on it. I mean, I'm knocking it because it's not something that I want. If that's what you want, shoot for it, bro.
Go for it.
But
But as long as it makes you happy.
Yeah.
As long as it makes you happy. Because if you're not happy, then guess what? Slap yourself in the fucking face and take a real long look in the mirror.
Nah.
Take a real long look in the mirror.
If you need it. If you going to Disney every year because you got a Disney annual pass, and like you're fine with making this same wage, and I mean, I could probably describe 1,000 people, and you probably know the same people that are,
I've got 1,000 names floating through my head as you said that.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
The Disney annual pass, like it's literally a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know exactly who
I'm like clockwork. I'm gonna do the same thing, and then I'm gonna go back to selling cars.
Yeah.
Where's the happiness in that? Where's the happiness? That's just monotony. That's the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I've got ADD and I can't focus on one thing for longer than 10 minutes. So you want me to do the same thing for 10 years over and over again without any sort of new outcome? That's the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. And if this business fails, which I'm not saying it will, and I'm not saying it won't, but if this business fails, I'll learn a great lesson, and I'll walk away from this with the knowledge of, I took a huge risk. I took a huge risk. I pissed all my family off, all of them.
Yeah.
Like blacklisted. I didn't talk to my parents for years. I didn't talk to my grandparents. I was not because I was mad at my grandparents. I was ashamed. Yeah. I was literally embarrassed to talk to my grandparents because I felt like I had done them wrong, and I did. I felt like I had done them dirty. But when you look back on it, it's like this is just the steps I had to take to further my life.
Right.
Because it's like if you sit down and think, like, do you want kids?
Yeah.
Like me personally?
I don't know, to an extent though, it was one of those things where you had to progress, and you knew that you were going to be stuck in that spot. Yeah. And if they can't understand that, then I'm
sorry. I'm gonna run you the fuck over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run you the fuck over. Yeah. Because I will hands down tell you, I am probably the most selfish person you've ever met. I love me more than I love anybody else.
Yeah.
But I don't see that as a downfall. I see that as me just wanting to be better. I don't want to reach a peak and then just go, well, it's all down here from hill or downhill from here. Right. Like I don't want to be in that spot again.
Yeah.
You know? So
I feel you on that.
God.
So how was business for you with COVID and everything? Because
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So we are one of the few businesses that COVID actually helped out.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Mm-hmm.
It helped out at first. So when we first shut down, all the bartenders, everybody in the service industry was out of work.
Yeah.
And sure, some of them had, a little stockpile of cash saved aside, which if they did, good for you. If you didn't, that was really rough. Like my roommate. I saw him go through some rough times. As a bartender, he really didn't have much money set back aside. Things were tough, Things were tough for him. But people were going out during the shutdown, and the only thing that they could really do was run, swim until the beaches were shut down, or ride your bike.
Mm-hmm.
And that was your source of entertainment for the day. Because if not, you're just going to go back home and watch Netflix for 74 hours.
That's all I did was run.
That shit gets boring.
Yeah.
Right? I've gone through Netflix's catalog. All of it.
Yeah.
There's about 30% that I actually really want to watch. So, if you gave me 2 months off of work, I'd have been like, I'm just ready to scratch this itch on the top of my mouth with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Because I can't do that. So, people were going out and riding their bikes. And we had people coming in waves, buying new bikes from us. Just left and right and left and right and left and right and left and right.
Yeah, seeing your posts, I was like, God damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fuck. We posted a picture, Dane, my business partner, posted a picture. It was a collage of all the new bike sales. So every time we sell a bike, we like to take a picture of you and your new bike outside the shop. But that doesn't include all the people that bought bikes as a gift for somebody, people that said no to taking the picture.
Mm-hmm.
We had, 700 and something pictures. That's 700 something bikes. And it's only July. It's just, we're halfway through the year and we've sold 1,000 bicycles.
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But I said this to Dane, and I was like, COVID's going to fuck us in a different sense. It's our business is booming now, but what's going to happen, and I called this. I absolutely called this. It's like, we're busy now, but when things start going back to normal, we're going to be hit with a really, really, really slow season. Because all these people came out, and they spent their money, and they bought a new bike, and they were happy, and they were great. But how many people live on this island? 30,000 people? Full-time year residents?
Right.
We sold, 1,000 bikes, so that's 1,000 residents. But not everybody can, A, ride a bike, B, needs a bike, So there's a small pool that we're fishing out of. And I'm like, there's going to be a point where that faucet's going to just run out of water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the parts that we're at now. We're at the part where everybody who needed, wanted, thought about a new bicycle has already made that decision and has moved on. They've done it. They bought a new bike. They got their old bike fixed up.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to slow down. Now we're seeing, the $300 days where it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
We literally are paying to be here. Yikes. This sucks. But production has also slowed down tremendously. So now we're at the point where people are coming in to get their bike service and there's no parts.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing available. The 26-inch inner tube, that is the most common part sold by any bike shop. That is the most common bike tire size. And there's no tubes to be found. We literally bought tubes off of Walmart.com.
Yeah.
Just to get some. And we could only get our hands on 100 of them. I order from J&B, one of our suppliers. We order, 100 at a time in a box.
Oh, so this is something that was going around U.S. or worldwide. People were just...
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Because you got to think, everything bicycle made is made in China.
Mm-hmm.
It's either made in China or it's made overseas. Like Specialized, one of our companies, they moved their production from China to Cambodia. Great. We still can't get the shit.
Yeah.
So now we're hitting the point where there's still demand. Don't get me wrong. It's not like everybody's just like giving up on bicycles. There's still a demand, but there's no product. And that's what a lot of businesses are kind of not experiencing. They're experiencing, low demand and a high product. Oh my God, I'm sitting, as a business owner, like I'm sitting on all this inventory and I can't sell it because my business is not essential and I have to shut down. They went through their problem then. Mm-hmm. We're going through that problem now. And it's a little different, but this COVID thing, it's going to hit all of us. There's nobody that's going to walk away from this with a fucking shining star on their forehead. Nobody. Yeah. It's going to hit you now or later. Yeah. And we got later.
Yeah. That's the part that worries me too. It's I mean, not everybody can be Jeff Bezos and make $13 billion in a day.
God.
Yeah.
That must suck. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, think about the taxes. Psych.
Oh, those taxes that he doesn't pay.
Yeah.
That poor little pumpkin.
Yeah, man.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
So how many Rolls Royces do you think he's ever set on fire just for fun?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. So look, man, this has been fun. I enjoyed our conversation. This is actually eye-opening for me because I never really got to see this side of you because,
sure,
we're of our dynamic of the relationship that we have. So
right.
This has been dope, and maybe I can have you on again, and we can
definitely
dive in on something else.
Yeah.
So
I make a great banana bread.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Astronomy, shop the riff.